Welcome to Alexandria, Virginia. Less than a mile from here is the home of George Washington, known as Mount Vernon. This is known as Woodlawn, the home of Lawrence Lewis and Nellie Custis. Let's go inside.
General George Washington first met his step-granddaughter at Mount Vernon on the way to defeat the British at Yorktown. Sadly, Nellie's father, John Custis, died at Yorktown of disease. Lawrence Lewis was the son of Betty Washington, George's sister, and his nephew. He met Eleanor Custis at Mount Vernon as they both entertained dignitaries who visited George Washington. They married at Mount Vernon on General Washington's birthday. He gave Woodlawn to them as a wedding present.
Good friend of George Washington, Dr. William Thornton, who designed the U.S. Capitol, also designed Woodlawn.
This is Nellie Custis's music room. When George Washington became president of our country, he moved to New York, the very young Nellie, 10 years old. And that's where she was schooled by the finest teachers and also learned many musical instruments. A Polish nobleman wrote of her, "Her sweetness is equal to her beauty, and this being so perfect of form possesses all the talents. She plays the harpsichord, sings, and draws better than any woman in America or even in Europe." Welcome to Fredericksburg, Virginia, childhood home of Lawrence Lewis, known as Kenmore. Lawrence Lewis grew up here at Kenmore Plantation in Fredericksburg, Virginia, with his 10 siblings. His mother, Betty, was the sister to George Washington, and his father, Fielding Lewis, helped fund the gunnery that supplied all the arms for the Revolutionary War. You'll see that Mary Washington, mother of George, lived very close to Lawrence's childhood home. Just 2 blocks from Kenmore is the home of Mary Washington, the mother to George Washington and the grandmother to Lawrence Lewis. Lawrence's first wife, Susanna, died during childbirth with George's mother, Mary, at her side. Sadly, the baby died also. In 1794, when Lawrence Lewis was only 26 years old, he served as a major to George Washington for the Whiskey Rebellion. When President George Washington put a tax on whiskey, the farmers who made it, also former Revolutionary War soldiers, violently protested that tax. The militia were called to squash the rebellion. Welcome to Mount Vernon, home of George Washington. After Martha Washington's death, Mount Vernon was willed to Bushrod Washington, another nephew. This angered Lawrence Lewis, and he showed his displeasure by not inviting Bushrod to the post-funeral dinner, so the estate's new master had a servant bring him refreshments in an outbuilding, and he ate alone. Throughout her life, Nellie regarded herself as a preserver of George Washington's legacy.
George Washington freed his slaves in his will when he died. Interestingly enough, in 1846, when she sold the house, she sold it to Quakers, who made it one of the first plantations to use a free labor system in which no slaves were used.
Woodlawn was built between 1800 and 1805 and still stands today in its pristine condition. For assisting George Washington in his official duties and for helping our country become a better nation, Lawrence and Nellie are heroes of history.